Hello, everybody, and welcome back to The Six Hockey. My name is Simon Hendricks, joined alongside by my friend and colleague, Sammy Brzozowski. And today, we are presenting to you game number 4 between the Vaughan Kings and the Toronto Junior Canadiens in this year's AAA U16 GTHL Championship Final. That is certainly a mouthful for sure. However, it is the Kings up 2-1 in this series after the Junior Canadiens forcing a game number 4 after a Game 3 victory. All 3 games in the series so far being decided by 1 goal. Do you think that trend will continue today?
You want to assume that it will. I mean, this series has been so contested, really, like we've been saying in each broadcast, a game of inches. But I do think that one of these teams is due for an explosion offensively because, like we've been saying, these are the 2 best teams in this division, in this league. Perhaps in U16 AAA altogether, 2 very, very solid teams. But they're very well known for their offenses. They are teams that can score goals in bunches. We haven't seen it this series yet. Relatively low scoring for these 2 teams. I mean, I think that shows how strong their defense has been. But a 1-0 game, a 3-3 game, and a 3-2 game, and a 2-1 game. So really not a lot of high-octane offense. I expect to see it. Problem is, I don't know which team it's going to come from.
Well, that's just the thing, Sammy, and that's exactly why you watch the games. And shifting focus to the goaltender matchup in this one, it will be Zdeno Chara back in net for the Canadiens. He earned himself a Six Hockey first star of the game in our Game 3 broadcast after posting up a shutout in that that 1-0 victory in the last one. And for the Kings, it will be Liam Cochrane in net. We did talk about it on our post-game show last game. We were kind of discussing amongst ourselves if it would be Stokes or Cochrane. The Kings, they have had a good rotation. It seems like every game they've been flip-flopping starters, and that trend is continuing here today as Liam Cochrane, he gets the start in this one.
Yeah, I mean, for Liam Cochrane, this is a test. It's hard for him to be able to get a Game 5 if that does happen, if he does not win this one. And if they win today, don't have to worry about it anymore. So for him, this is his chance to shine, his chance to bring the championship home for the Vaughan Kings. For the Junior Canadiens, I think the choice was pretty simple. You go with the goalie that's won a game this series. They go with Zdeno Chara. If they win and force a game number 5, he's your guy to run with. You have to go with the hot goalie. And they always say it's not about who's the best goalie in winning a championship. It's about who is the hottest. And in this series, small sample size, but it has been Zdeno Chara picking up the only shutout against the Kings. They were not shut out in any other game so far this playoff, so something to be said about his performance.
Certainly so, and just switching focus to Cochrane. Dmitry Stokes, he has been the starting goaltender in each of the series winning games for the Vaughan Kings. He was a starter in Game 5 against the Toronto Marlboros and was the starter in that Game 3 series where they punched their ticket into the semifinals. So an interesting test here for Liam Cochrane, hoping to secure the victory and the championship for the Kings. And speaking of the Kings, let's move right on to our players to watch in this one. And for the Kings, you went with a bit of an interesting one.
Yeah, I went with Presley Allain, brother of Clarence Allain, a former U16 AAA Vaughan Kings champion. So, Vaughan King excellence in their blood. I likened him to Nick Suzuki. He's a little bit undersized compared to the rest of his team. Not to say that he's very short, very small. Still growing. Remember, this is the U16 division. These are young athletes. He's a great facilitator, strong on the PK. He can be slot in any position on the offensive end. He can win faceoffs if he needs to. He can go on the half wall. He can also go down low. He uses what sides he does have very well. He's got great speed, and he's got great vision as well. And something that's underrated about his game is his shot. He's got a wicked release that you don't see coming from a guy like him, but when he's in the slot, he can be dangerous.
Certainly so, and switching gears to the Canadiens, you also have an interesting guy who we haven't really talked about in recent games, but still, his presence on the ice is incredibly noticeable. Who do you have for him?
I have Rico Champagne, one of the best names. I think, I know we've said it before, the Toronto Junior Canadiens, they win the names draft.
Oh, 100%.
Kate O'Rourke's a great name. Rico Champagne, a great name. Cash Kawaja, obviously a great name as well. But enough about his name. His play style. He is a very solid player. And I was racking my brain to try to figure out what he is like because he's competitive. He fights hard. He's got great hands, great speed. And I actually watched him do an interview with the OHL, and he was talking about who he models his game after. I would never pick this player upon someone because he's known for his antics a little bit too much. But Brad Marchand was the player that Rico Champagne said he liked to model his game after, and I get it because like Marchand, Champagne is very tough to match up against. He's a pest in the offensive zone, goes hard on the forecheck, and he's one of those guys that if you're playing against him, he might be your least favorite player. If you're playing with him or he's playing for you, he might be your favorite. He's just an excellent player that can be slot into those, not grinder roles because he fills the back of the net, but the roles that aren't maybe flashiest, but gets the job done. You see him down low in the bumper position, often on the power play that has a bunch of great shooters and facilitators, and he's one of those guys that the team relies upon day in and day out.
That is incredibly well put, Sammy. I couldn't have put it any better myself. And with that, we say it all the time, you're not here to watch us, you're here to watch some hockey. So let's watch some hockey. Game 4 is underway. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the 6 Hockey. Today we have Game 4 of this GTHL U16 AAA Finals between the Vaughan Kings and the Toronto Junior Canadians. The Vaughan Kings, they are up 2-1 in this series, and they have an opportunity here to clinch the GTHL championship. And for the Junior Canadians, their backs are up against the wall. A hot start into this one, jumping right into the action. My name is Simon Hendricks, joined by Sammy Brzozowski. How you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm jazzed to be here, Simon. That's right. I said jazzed. Because after game number 3, it was a 1-0 victory for the Toronto Junior Canadians. And I expect a little bit more goals out of this one. There was some great defense played by both teams. I thought the zone entry and exit was great from both Vaughan and Toronto. But I think we're going to see more creativity in this one. We're going to see more offensive chances. I think simply we're going to see some more goals.
I hope you're right, because as thrilling as that Game 3 was, only one goal coming in the first period. Obviously, the Vaughan Kings, they took a 2-0 series lead. Junior Canadians forcing this game number 4 with a 1-0 victory last night, as that'll be covered up by the Vaughan Kings goaltender. That'll be number 1, Liam Cochran, in net for them yet again. And for the Canadians, it will be Zidane JC. He got the Game 3 shutout in the last one. Obviously, it was Marko Masic getting starts for Game 1 and 2. JC posting the shutout in the previous game. He gets the starting nod yet again today, hoping for similar results in this one as the Canadians, they lose that draw in the offensive zone. Vaughan Kings looking to rim it around the boards, but it gets stopped along that near side corner. Rimmed along the far side. Canadians looking to keep that one in. That's Cantanella keeping it in. Only for a moment, though, as the Canadians, they have to regroup in their own zone. Taking it through now. That's dumped in by Zoo. Sends along the far side corner. Kings able to rim it around. Nice keep in from the Canadians as they send it right back down and go for a line change. A fast pace to start this game, although no shots on goal just yet. You can see these players have some pace to them today.
I think both teams know how important a great start to the game can be. It was really the Canadians that took control of game number 3 and didn't look back.
And here's an opportunity here, but unfortunately that is not able to find the stick of Braden Grima. He was in almost all alone, couldn't quite catch up to the puck, and that will go all the way down to the Canadian zone.
Yeah, and just to finish my point out, it was the Canadians with the early goal. It was Alston Wang potting it in off the pass from Cash Kawaja. And I think it's important just to get yourselves comfortable in the game. If you pop in an early goal, it really puts the other team's back against the wall. And for the Vaughan Kings, you know they don't want to lose 2 straight. They can feel the GTHL Cup in the palm of their hands, and to have it stripped away is not a great feeling. They'd be going to a pivotal Game 5, which anything could happen.
Certainly, and to your point, Sammy, about a fast start, as that puck is picked up at the blue line by the Kings, trying to work it in, are they? To your point, Sam, that was an early first period goal from the Canadians in game number 3, and that stood to be the only goal scored in the game winner. So a fast start, crucial for both teams here in this pivotal game number 4 as the Kings, they look to break it out. That's Brown. He tries to center it, but that pass finds no one except the Canadians, and they dump it from the red line. Cochran, he's out to play it behind his own net. Taken by the defenseman, trying for that long stretch pass. That is tipped at the red line. No icing, says the official, as JC is turned to play the puck out. Rims around this near side wall. Kings are forechecking. That's McClure on the forecheck. Unable to get that puck as that's Grima streaking it along the far side. Grima taking it on the backhand. His shot tapped towards the net. That doesn't find Cochran. as the Kings are able to clear that out of his way. Going the other way now, 3-on-3 forming here. That's sent to the net of JC, and he elects just to cover it up, and a nice hit at the end of the play, sending the player into the boards as we get a nice quick shot of Cochran there, just circling around his net.
Yeah, he's got to stay locked in. You know, hasn't faced too much traffic so far in front of his net, but we've seen how these goals in transition have been piling up throughout this series. A lot of the times it's the goalies who haven't faced a lot of shots and then a flurry of chances and the score changes. Expect to see more of the physicality in this game as well. 4 games into a series, these teams simply do not like each other, and the intensity has really ramped up.
Adrian Skro with the shot from the point. Worth noting, Adrian Skro back in the lineup for the Vaughan Kings. He missed the past few games of this series due to an injury, we believe, although that's not fact check. We are just assuming it was an injury that was keeping him out, but the captain is back in the lineup. Still no Landon Rolston for the Kings, number 35. His presence has been missed in this series, and he continues to miss some time. Anyway, that's Skro going to chase it in his own corner. Kings playing it back just to play it forward yet again. That's Menery taking it down. His shot goes wide, picked up by the Kings as they look to cycle behind the net of JC. That's picked up by the Canadians, and they start a breakout. Looking for a pass in the center of the ice. Clogged the lanes, Kings clogged the lane. That's Grima with the shot, and that goes high and wide. Pops out to the Kings, and they try to send one near the center of the ice. That's dumped right back down to that far side corner. Canadians looking for a centering pass. Pass doesn't get through, but that shot just goes wide. I believe that was tipped up and out of play. Actually, I lied, Sammy. The net came off. I don't know if you saw Liam Cochran, and now the officials there checking the net. I believe the net got lodged off. I believe that is number 7 or 8 in this series so far.
Yeah, you know, I love the hockey season, and I'm actually very sad that it could end in this game or obviously the next. I'm not going to miss the nets coming off. I've had it up to here. I know that I've tried to be more optimistic. Maybe it's something they put in the coffee today, but I am upset already at this net situation.
And that puck was cleared right down the ice. I believe that was number 10, Nixon McKegg, getting the puck right off the faceoff and trying to hit the net of Zidane JC. Missed quite wide, as that top line for the Canadians with Cash Quadja is still out there. You see the Canadians lining up in the overload position, trying to get a quick shot off this face-off. Quadja, he wins it, but right to the Vaughan Kings as they turn and burn the other way. That's dumped in by Brown. McKegg jumping up in the rush, going to chase it. He funnels it. However, it's the Canadians who pick it up. Kings still forechecking along that far side corner. Or I should say near side corner. And that was Pagani knocking the puck loose. Kings trying to cycle down low. Canadians, they are able to pick that up, and they go the other way. Good pass to find the stick of Grima in the center of the ice, but the puck is knocked off his stick. He goes to battle down low, up back to the point. Sent over to Quadja. Quadja down low, tipped out in front. That tip doesn't hit the net. And the Kings looking to turn the other way. That was Nelson trying to get up front, but that's intercepted by the Canadians at the red line. Tipped down low as they go for a change. This Kings lineup has been out there for a little bit. They're probably looking to change as well, but that's intercepted at the blue line. Centering pass in front. Good save from Cochran to turn that away. A dangerous turnover by the Kings at the blue line leads to that good chance, and that will result in an icing call. Offensive zone faceoff upcoming for the Canadians.
And it looks like the Canadians, they're picking up where they left off. They're putting a lot of pressure in the offensive zone. I've really liked the forecheck so far. I want to highlight a play we saw earlier. It was Cash Kawaja coming from center ice, still being the first man to the puck despite some Vaughan players already in the zone. That level of tenacity wins you hockey games, and you can see that he's not just a one-dimensional player. A lot of creative players often act as the third forward in, but he is one of the first forwards in every time, and it's a big reason why the Canadians have held possession so far in this one.
That was Fitzgerald driving it down low, and the Canadians yet again employing that method of just pinning the Kings up along the boards whenever they are in the zone of the Canadians. It's worked for them pretty well these past couple of games, and it looks like they are still going to employ that method as the Kings, they are trying their hardest to get that puck loose and try to create anything along the top of the zone. That's Fitzgerald who passes it along to Fortin. Fortin, he sends it down low, but that's picked up at the hash marks by the Canadians, and they dump it down the length of the ice. And that will go up and out of play. Referee pointing Referee pointing at the Canadian zone. It will be defensive zone face-off inside the JRC zone.
Probably one of the first multiple shift opportunities that the Kings have had in the Canadian zone. Weird phrasing for me for sure, but it's good to see some signs of life here from the Vaughan Kings. After getting shut out in the game previous, you know that they're itching to get on offense. And if any line can do it, it's most certainly could be this Brody Brown line. They have often kick-started Vaughan's offense in every game this playoffs. You see him join out there with Kane Cloutier, his line mate. These three have been buzzing so far in this playoff, so it doesn't surprise me that after an offensive zone faceoff, they're the ones to answer the call.
Although the Kings were able to win that faceoff, some good pressure from the Canadians, forcing the puck into the zone of the Kings. That's Fortman along the far side, trying to cycle it down low. He's pressured there by the Kings. That was Watt pressuring. Shot there from Ross that hits a body in front, picked up by the Kings and sent around. Scrow, he's trying to figure out something. Nice pass, finds the stick of Brody Brown, but that's stripped. That's Ross entering the zone. Ross, he has Quadra in front, scores! Cash Quadra opens up the scoring for the Junior Canadians in this game. Just a little bit under halfway through this first period, and Toronto Junior Canadians are up 1-0 in Game 4.
And how about that pass and rush from the captain, Cooper Ross? We don't talk about him for his level of offensive output. He's one of those D-men that just play a very smart, simple game. And he's not really known for getting on the score sheet. But there, a beautiful play to protect to the puck, take it wide, and throw it over to your top goal scorer in Cash Kawaja. And Kawaja, in tight, makes no mistake. The Canadians, they are buzzing. I love the pressure that they're putting on the Kings so far in this one.
That's Cabral with the puck, trying to respond for the Kings. They look to rush. That's McClure sending it down low. McClure, he still maintains the puck, trying to find the centering pass, but no one was there. However, the Kings are able to get it up at the point. Cabral, he finds the defenseman. He sends it towards the net. That hits a skate in front. Cabral, he cannot find that puck cleanly. And here's an opportunity for the Canadians. They yet again, all alone. Good defensive play on the backhand. I believe that hit the pad of Cochran and out. What an opportunity for the Canadians just seconds after the goal was scored. I believe that was Ryder Muir who had that opportunity. And the Kings trying to get that stretch pass. They dump it down low. Chasing are the Kings, and Menery is the first on the puck. The Canadians doing a good job getting the puck out of their zone early, or at least attempting to. Centering pass in front, scores early! My goodness, Presley Elaine takes a hit but gets the shot off. My goodness, what a shot from Presley Elaine, and this game is tied as I think a couple of their helmets are entangled there.
Yeah, look at that. Presley Elaine and Evan Fitzgerald so excited that they literally connected, the refs having to separate the two. But what a response from the Vaughan Kings. And how about that shot from Presley Elaine in the slot as he's knocked down, pops it up high over the shoulder of Zidane Jaycee. That is how you respond, ladies and gentlemen. You allow the first goal. You haven't scored in 2 games, and you get it right there. The Kings got to feel good about themselves, and now the game can truly begin once more.
That's certainly right, Sammy. A new game here, just under halfway to go in this first period. The Kings, they're pressuring yet again. Watt is unable to keep that puck in their own zone as they have to regroup in their own end. That's Scrow funneling it, but that's picked up by Grima. Grima entering the zone, shot on. That hits the blocker of Cochran and sent wide. Grima, he gets the puck again behind the back of the net, trying to find Caterin. Unable to find his stick as the Kings turn the other way. Nice poke check there from Ross as he sends it right down low yet again. Scrow and Grima going to play in the corner. Caterin's there to meet them. Another board battle ensuing here. Seems like a lot of this game is spent along these near side and far side corners along the boards. That puck leaked down in front. Canadians unable to get a stick on it, and that's Ross at the point. He sends it over to O'Rourke. O'Rourke over to Grima. Grima, shot from the top of the circle. That hits a shin pad. Not out as Ross. He sends it back down low. Canadian forward group going for a change, and of course the Quadra line comes out right after the Grima one. Canadians still maintaining possession here. That pass is sent to the stick of Brody Brown. I'm sure not where the Canadians intended for that one to go. As Wang, he is able to recover that puck. And the Canadians yet again driving the puck deep into the Vaughan King zone. A good response here after allowing that first goal from the Kings. Quintanilla, he claims possession, sends it over to Mason. Mason, his shot doesn't find anything, but the Canadians are able to get the rebound behind the net of Cochrane. Quintanilla able to keep that clearing attempt in and sends it down low yet again. Mason going to pinch down. Fitzgerald's there to meet him. Unable to get the puck from them. Puck sent up along the far side, and that will be intercepted along the boards by the Kings as a 3-on-3 is forming. Defensive pair for the Kings are changing. Centering pass in front, and that will just be swallowed up by Zidane Jaycee. Worth noting, that first Vaughan King goal, I believe that was the first shot of the game for them. Obviously, Zidane Jaycee, he did have a couple just kind of covers along the near side of his net, but I believe that was the first shot attempt of the game from the Kings that resulted in a goal for them.
Yeah, and that brings me kind of to my next point. I know that time on attack isn't really something that we track. We kind of just go by the eye test. But from what we're seeing, the Canadians doing a great job at keeping it down low in Vaughan's end. That's what they need to do. They can't allow Vaughan to get comfortable in the zone and comfortable in transition. They've been doing a good job at stifling any zone exit opportunities.
That was intercepted by Fitzgerald. He passed it up to Lane, trying to pot his second of the game. That shot couldn't get through. Sent down the length of the ice. No icing, says the official. Perhaps hit a Vaughan King skate going down the length of the ice. That tip pass finds the stick of Ross and dumped right down low again. That hits the pad of Cochrane, has to stay sharp there. Glove down by Vortman. He has an opportunity, trying to shovel it through the net. Rico Champagne there to jam it home. Unable to do so as the Kings, they're able to reclaim possession going down the far side of the ice. Good move there, trying to get the shot off was McClure. Unable to get anything past. Excuse me, that was Landon Keefe rather. Canadians, they are able to retain possession behind the net of Jaycee, trying to find Caterin. He has some trouble maintaining possession, and that's picked up by Fortman and dumped down low. That was McClure, 17. 7 and 17 look a little similar when we only see half the jersey, you know?
And like we say, they're just moving so fast, sometimes we can't keep up with them.
That's exactly right. A far side puck battle here. Yet again, the Canadians able to get, I guess, the advantage in that puck battle. I feel like we could say that for most of these board side puck battles throughout this game so far. And yet again, they're pressuring inside the zone. That shot didn't find anything but the boards. And that will be the Kings trying to regroup in their own zone. And we see here going for a line change, Canadians very spread out, kind of allowing the Kings to get a breakout started, playing a much more, I guess, they don't want the stretch pass to really connect, as we've seen the Vaughan Kings employ so much this series. And there's a chance there. Kwaja couldn't let the trigger go. And he just elects to skate around the top of the circle. What a move there. Quintanilla able to keep it in, says the official. That was inches away from going offside. That shot hits a shin pad in front. Rebound opportunity doesn't find the net of Cochrane. And the Kings able to pick up that loose puck. Intercepted at the red lines by the Canadians. Excuse me, that's not Kwaja. That was the Canadians turning the other way. Couldn't find the number, unfortunately. But the Kings, they are able to get it along near their bench. No icing, says the official. That hit the skate of a Vaughan King player on that blue line. Yet another puck battle. And that was number 14, Liam Nelson, jumping up in the rush. Back to his regular position. Shot from the point.
Ooh.
Oh my goodness. I don't think Zidane Jaycee knew exactly where that puck was. It seemed like it hit him right in the chest, and you saw his head turn around. Maybe he thought that was behind him for a second.
Yeah, those shades of James Reimer. Not really knowing where it was. He made the initial save, and he had to close his arms. I believe it got wedged into one of them. And I think he looked back just to make sure he had it, not wanting to move so that the puck wouldn't get loose. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do. In great position there, makes the save. And the Vaughan Kings said it again, but showing signs of life. After that Vaughan Kings tying goal, it really has been all JRC, so an offensive zone faceoff could go a long way for them here.
Benry is able to win that faceoff, and they get it up to Scro. Scro's shot doesn't find anything but the boards yet again. A lot of shots missing here for both teams early on. Canadians are able to retain possession. Nice skating move to hold traffic behind the net of Jaycee as they're looking to start the breakout in their own zone. Playing a little conservatively now, the Kings are pressuring them. As we get a great camera shot of center ice, and that puck is sent all way down the ice, doesn't hit anything, And that will be yet another offensive zone faceoff for the Kings.
Yeah, and in both these teams in this series, we've seen a lot of stretch passes. I believe these are 1 and 2 in terms of the transition offense. There's so much speed on both ends of the ice. So I expect to see a little bit more of that. Not so much that they're going to do away with carrying it in, but the long stretch passes really worked to each team's favor.
Lining up in the faceoff dot is Menery yet again. He tries to just fall on the puck. Maybe gets a little tangled there. However, they are able to maintain possession. That's Fortin sending it across ice. Dumping it down low are the Kings, but the Canadians are first to get on that puck. Looking to start a breakout. Fortin is able to keep it in. Tipped in front by Cabral. That goes high and wide. A nice play from Fortin to try to find the stick of Cabral, but yet again unable to find the net are the Kings. Fortin yet again maintaining possession at top of the circle. His shot doesn't go through all the way. That's picked up by Scro, who dumps it down low. Canadians pick it up behind the net of JC yet again, cycling it back to Ross. Ross, he has to make a quick decision where to go with this puck. Tipped, and that took a weird hop. Wondering if this will be enough for an icing. Yes, it will be. Referees determining that that weird hop was off the stick of the Canadian, as yet another offensive zone faceoff for the Vaughan Kings.
Yeah, and the good thing with this league is that if you ice it, you are still allowed to change. So sometimes best thing to do when you're being pressured and you don't have an option for an outlet pass, throw it off the glass, or in this case, throw it off one of your own teammates and get that much needed change.
Brown unable to win that draw. Kings are still pressuring, though. They've increased their forecheck tremendously. There's a nice little alliteration there. Increased their forecheck tremendously after that game-tying goal. But the Canadians, lucky break here, perhaps tangled up by the defenseman, and they're able to neutralize that threat before it even starts. Going to chase now are the Kings. Brown was there streaking in with Fitzgerald, unable to get the pass through to him. Cabral, he sends it down low for Brown. Picked up by the Canadians on that far side hash mark. Trying to get that pass up for Grima. Bouncing puck is knocked down by the Kings and sent in near the boards. That's Cloutier making a nice move, trying to find his partner in Brown. That's picked up by Kawaja, and they turn the other way. Sends it down low. That's Jackson Zinke pressuring there for the Canadians, but that's picked up by the Kings before he can even get there. Kings working it down, and that's Cantanella chasing it for the Canadians. Pressure there by McClure. Trying to send that pass in front, unable to get it through, but the Kings are able to maintain possession. Up top for Fitzgerald. Slap shot from the point from Nelson, and that's swallowed up by Jadane Jacey. Some good pressure here from the Vaughan Kings as of late, as there's just under 3 minutes to go in this first period.
Yeah, and we've kind of flipped the script here. Now it's the Vaughan Kings that are doing an excellent job at not allowing the junior Canadians to enter their own zone. The Canadians, once they get possession of the puck in the offensive zone, they're so dangerous at finding those cycle passes, those outlet passes towards the net. So good on Vaughan for restricting their entry, not allowing them to get set up, and in turn pushing the offense towards JRC's zone.
Lining up for the faceoff, Canadians taking a good moment deciding who's going to take this draw. And it will be Fitzgerald making a nice dangle off the faceoff. All for naught, though, as the Canadians, they have a 3-on-2 forming here. They enter the zone. That's Grima with a short side shot off the pad. Rebound came out front. Kings able to clear that one away before the Canadians could get to it. And there's Fitzgerald again, cutting through to the slot, and that shot goes wide. Grima trying to pick up the bouncing puck. He is unable to do so, but thankfully for him, that was number 16, Alessandro Catarin, there to pick up the puck for him, and he sends it high and out of play. As some chatting here in front of the JRC bench.
Yeah, I believe that was number 21, Jackson Menery, or Evan Fitzgerald, coming on to Vortman by the bench. It was right towards the end of the period, so there's no penalties on the play. But I think the ref throwing a warning there, because as he was pulling up to stop the hit, he kind of need Vortman. Vortman looks to be okay. He took that weird fall off the Vaughan Kings move, cut towards the net. But what a period that was to watch, back and forth. At the start, really seeming like it was JRC that was going to take the upper hand, but the Kings coming back with authority in the late stages of frame number 1.
Certainly so, Sammy, and my apologies, folks. I said there was 2 minutes and 47 seconds left. Turns out it was just 24 seconds. So apologies for that one on me. Now, something I just want to point out, we did take a look at the season schedule between these two. We said it in the last game that these teams were 500 against each other. They went 2-2-1 in the regular season, which is just a pretty neat stat just to show how evenly matched these teams are. And another interesting fact that I came across, the Vaughan Kings this season are yet to lose 2 games in a row. If the JRC are able to win this game, this would be the first time this entire season the Vaughan Kings would lose 2 straight games.
Wow, and I mean, that's why this playoffs is so exciting, because for a team to face some adversity it's never faced before, that can play a big role in a pivotal game number 5. Of course, we got a lot of hockey left. Of course, the game is tied, but what a outcome that would be. I love when the finals goes to the last game. Vaughan Kings no stranger to that. A couple years ago, it was the North York Rangers taking game number 4. They got to game number 5. We all know what happened there. It was a 4-0 Vaughan Kings victory. But I like to see this. I like to see the drama in this league, the physicality, and we've seen it on full display so far here.
Someone's name who we haven't really mentioned so far this game, number 24, Kate O'Rourke. He is expecting perhaps an exceptional status label put on him in the near future. Good luck to him in that endeavor, looking to turn up his game as he was pretty quiet there in that first period. Canadians yet again being hemmed in their own zone early. They're able to break that puck out. Clear the line, get into the zone cleanly. Referee deeming that was no offside. Kawaja, he's trying to find that puck in the corner. O'Rourke streaking down to let him work his magic. Shot along from the point. That hits a stick in front and sent wide. Unable to keep that in are the Canadians as Ross took a little bit too long getting to cover Cade O'Rourke. King sending it along the far side, but that's picked up by O'Rourke and sent off the glass and finds the stick of Vortman. Vortman, he finds Grima. He has a winger skating with him. That's Caterin streaking down low. Unable to find the net are the Canadians. That was a good chance. The long change affecting both teams there as Caterin just couldn't catch up to the puck quick enough. Zoo, he sends it down low for the Canadians. And the Kings, they are able to pick that puck up in their own zone. Almost intercepted at the blue line, and it will be fully intercepted at the red line. Another dangerous pass there from the Kings could have cost them dearly. That's Caterin pressuring. He's the first to jump on the puck. Good hit there from Nelson to hit him off the puck. Not exactly sure who has puck possession here thanks to this camera angle, but now we know that Zoo making a good move. Another good move. Oh my gosh, who is this guy? I'll tell you who it is. That's Alex Zoo making a move. Sent to the front of the net. Doesn't find a stick. Menery, he's there first to the puck for the Kings. He elects to go off the glass. Almost finds the stick of Keefe. Doesn't get it all the way to him as the Canadians, they turn the other way along that far side wall along the hash mark. Cycling it up. That puck hits the stick of Cabral. And yet again, the Kings turn the other way. A lot of turnovers in the offensive zone for each team, resulting in some interesting fast break chances. Sent along the net to JC. That hits a skate in front. Oh my goodness, a big collision there. Takes out Scro. Hopefully both of those guys are okay. It looks like they are. Off the glass, and there goes the Canadians. Trying to get that puck down low, but the refs say that is offside. What a hit that was on Adrian Scro. It looked like maybe one of the Canadians took a little stumble and Scro just too close to him to get out of the way fully.
Yeah, almost like a tabletop. Scro was the one who got up a lot quicker. The junior Canadians took a little bit longer to recover off that. I do believe that was Lucas Wang and Scro colliding. Glad to see that they're both okay, but what a collision that was. I mean, you heard my reaction. That's something you don't see too often in this league, just like how you feel about the wraparound for some reason. So
you don't see it too often. Anyway, yes, that was a pretty scary collision. That could have gone a lot worse for Wang and for Scro. Lucky to see that they are both looking okay as Scro is even still out there. Zidane JC, he plays that puck a little dangerously though as the Kings were right there. Another nice hit from the Kings. The Canadians are able to send that puck all the way down the ice. Not enough for the icing as Scro picks that up before the red line. Some good pressure from the Canadians. Yet again, another hit behind the net of Cochran. My goodness, this game It's taken a little bit for the series to get as physical as that Marlboro's King series, but I can say with full certainty we might be getting there pretty soon. Scro with the shot. That's a nice glove save from JC. That looked like a bit of a threatless shot, a meaningless shot, but with that speed and that power that Scro is able to generate on those shots, any shot from him is dangerous.
Yeah, I was just about to say, I don't know if there is a meaningless shot off the stick of Adrian Scro. 5'11", 176 already. He puts a lot of power behind his rips, especially in transition. And almost looked like he was going to go for the cross body shot, but kept it in tight and popped it up high. Great save there from JC. He made that one look simple. It certainly isn't.
And this top line of Brown, Cloutier, and Pagani out there for the Vaughan Kings. And in this situation, this is where they really missed their superstar, Landon Rolston, or at least one of their superstars, Landon Rolston, who was just lighting the league up this year. The tie-up at the face-off dot is taken by the Canadians. I thought the Kings had possession for a moment, but the Canadians are into the zone of the Kings. That pass doesn't get all the way through cleanly. That's Caterin looking for a pass to Zhu. Excuse me. That was Kov Long looking for a pass for Zhu. Unable to find him is Brown. Referees say that that puck was tipped. No offside. Wow, did you see that, Sammy?
I did see that. That is a weird call. It'll most likely be at center ice as the referee did wave it off, the other one blowing the whistle. And yeah, right at center ice. That's what happens when the wires get crossed from the stripes. But yeah, definitely not an icing on that. He did get a piece of it coming in on the near side boards. But a good chance for both teams to reset, collect themselves, and hopefully limit the turnovers. Both teams, like you said, in the offensive zone, haven't been able to string together the same level of passing we saw in their dominant little runs they had in the first.
Grima able to win that puck cleanly to Ross and O'Rourke. That puck sent way down the ice. Will that be an icing? No, says the official. That puck definitely got tipped along the blue line. Canadians are able to maintain possession only for a moment, as yet again another puck battle, and that's Grima coming up with the puck. Down low in the corner, he's trying to cycle it through. Scro is all over him. Grima, nice footwork, pops out front. Fake shot, there's a shot, save from Cochran. My goodness, what a play from Braden Grima. You see his elite skating ability, fakes a shot, then goes blocker side. And a great save from Cochran there.
Yeah, and Grima, he's one of the better forwards in this league. I don't even know if I would call him just a goal scorer or just a playmaker. He really is a good two-way guy. He's strong defensively. He's such a good slot on any of these junior Canadians lines, and we've seen why a lot through the playoffs so far, and we see why right there. Some good hands and an excellent shot.
And he is still out there for the Canadians, looking to win this offensive zone faceoff. Like you said, Sammy, trying to string anything together. And there's excuse me, that's not Kawaja, that's Perigene. Not Kawaja, 9 and 8 look a bit similar with the jersey tuck. Either way, Perigene out there. He almost comes up with the puck, but the Kings able to get a shot off, but that goes high and wide. Fortin able to keep it in. Up along the near side wall. Canadians trying to break it out at the hash marks. That takes a weird hop. Fortunately for the Canadians, doesn't go out of play. That certainly would have been a penalty if it did. Fortin dumps it down low. JC trying to settle it down for Kawaja, who picks up along the far side, goes off the boards. Does not hit a stanchion. You know, we love to mention that any single time we get a chance to. And Fortin, he reclaims it for the Kings. Cross-ice feed. That finds the stick of Menery. Going to chase it now are the Kings, but the Canadians, they reclaim possession. Fans on that puck. Almost gets it through the stick of Scro. Good play by him to stick with it. That's Elaine trying to work his way through multiple defensemen. The Canadians doing a good job playing the body and working the puck off of his stick. Cantanella sends it down low for his teammates to chase. That takes a weird hop almost in front of the net of Cochran, and he elects just to cover that one up.
Yeah, and something I want to make note of. No penalties so far in this game. Both teams staying very disciplined. Also, maybe the refs saying, I'll let you play the game because it is a potential series deciding match. So good for both teams for staying disciplined, not taking a useless penalty, because we've seen what these guys can do on the power play.
O'Rourke, shot from the point. Don't believe that got through all the way. That may have hit Rico Champagne in front. Hitting your own teammate is always not the best, especially in a slot opportunity like that. Kings able to work that puck out of the zone. That cross ice feed does not find the stick of a King. Rather, the Canadians, a lot of back and forth here in this neutral zone, but that puck eventually does end up behind the net of Cochrane as the Kings go to regroup in their own zone. Canadians are pressuring, though, almost forcing a turnover. Puck does find the stick of the Kings only for a moment, though, as that stretch pass does not connect with anybody. Canadians working it up front. That puck hits a stick in a lane, going to work yet again, trying to center it there for Fitzgerald. He's unable to get there before the Canadians are. And yet again, the Canadians regrouping in their own end. Yet again, looking for a couple stretch passes. But you see here now, some Canadians along the near side of the red line. That's Quadra streaking through. Centering pass opportunity. No one there except the Vaughan Kings. I believe that was Nixon McKay getting that pass from Clash Quadra. However, the Canadians are able to get the puck yet again. That's Zhu along the top of the circle on the backhand. Defenseman jumping up in the rush. We don't see this a lot from Zhu, although we did see him make a couple nice dekes along the top of the blue line. That's Caterin going in to help him. However, the referees are going to blow this dead. A wise call from the officials just to blow it dead. It looks like this will be an offensive zone faceoff, though, for the Canadians.
Yeah, and I think both teams could really benefit from calming things down, slowing the game down a bit, and making sure these passes are getting through. The turnovers have got to stop, especially in the neutral zone.
In fact, we have our first penalty of the game. Sammy, that was the last point you made about there being a lack of penalties in this game. That is number 66, Sebastian Cabral, getting a little bit too physical in that puck battle, and he goes to the penalty box. And we all know how dangerous this junior Canadians power play can be. Important face-off for both teams here. Canadians almost win that cleanly. However, the Kings are able to jump on the puck first, and they send it all the way down the length of the ice. That's Quadra looking for options. He finds O'Rourke. O'Rourke trying to make a nice move. Quadra able to get that puck to Long. Long sends it around the back of the net. That's to Champagne. Up to O'Rourke. Over to Quadra. Grima, top of the circle, looking for options. That's Long. Back to Grima. Back down to Long. Long shovels his way through. That hits the pad and back out to the stick of O'Rourke. Quadra, the quarterback of this power play, sends it over to Grima. Grima back down to Long yet again. Pass to Quadra. Shot scores from the top of the zone. Cash Quadra gives the Canadians a power play goal, his second of the game, as the JRC take a 2-1 lead.
And what a shot that was from Quadra from the point. We've seen that strength shown on those one-timers all season long. And Quadra, like we said, he acts as the quarterback, but also as the guy they want to feed the one-timer to. Really a jack of all trades on the special teams, and just beautifully placed very far in the zone. Like you said, he was super deep. It takes a lot of strength and accuracy to get that by a goaltender when you're that far away, and it was a clean shot up high. Great job from Cash Quadra, cashing in his second of the game, like you mentioned. And the Canadians, they are looking dangerous right now.
Ross, he sends that down low. Canadians looking to add on to their lead already. Good dumping from Ross, but that's picked up by the Kings before it gets too deep. Kings taking it in. That's Fortin, the Game 2 overtime hero. And he gets the puck slicked off of his stick. Don't even know what that term means. By O'Rourke as he looks to head the other way with his teammates as he goes for a change. Canadians looking for a centering pass opportunity. Doesn't find anything there. That's McKaig taking it for the Kings. McKaig, he has some options. Elects to skate it in himself. Excuse me. That was Elaine. And yet again, some back and forth through some, I guess, offensive zone turnovers here. A lot of offensive zone turnovers in this second period, in this game, I should say.
Well, you understand that. They're nervous today. It's a do-or-die game for the JRC, right? So it's going to be they're holding their sticks a little tighter.
They certainly are, as that's Brown trying to pressure for the Kings. Canadians able to reclaim possession at the blue line, trying to send it over to the winger. That hits off of his skate and is unable to pick it up cleanly as the Kings. They almost go the other way, but that shot from the slot goes high and wide. A lucky break for the Kings as that was intercepted right in the slot. Kings, they do pick it up. Yet another bad defensive zone turnover. Cantanella trying to skate his way through, but he is knocked off of the puck. Sent all the way down the length of the ice. Will that be enough for an icing? The referee saying no. My goodness. According to some of the other icings in that game, I'm surprised they waved that one off. That's Wang taking it, sending it down low. Kawaja, he goes for a change. That's wrapped around by Nelson. Almost picked up there by Menery. But the Canadians, they turned the other way. Trying to get it down low is Champagne. Didn't get that one all the way through cleanly. Where's the puck? It bounces just past the red line. My goodness, I feel like half of this game has taken place along that far side wall in the neutral zone as yet another puck battle ensues. That's Fitzgerald going to help out, and he's able to knock the puck out there for his team to reclaim. Sending up along the far side. Has to be careful for the offside call. That most certainly would have been intentional offside if it was deemed, I guess, an offside, you could say.
You could say that.
My goodness. What a, you know how Marcus Stroman was, he didn't always have the A stuff, but when he did, it was unbelievable.
That can't be you, because I don't think you've ever really been unbelievable. You're like a Joe Biagini, big ears.
I will take that as a big compliment. If everyone just wants to compare me to Joe Biagini, I feel like my life would be complete. That puck taken away by Scro as the Kings, they go the other way. That was McClure. Almost had a break, and the referee's hand is up. At least I thought it was. Is that a penalty?
It should have been.
I actually, like Sammy in this booth here, he instinctually put his hand up. That looked like a clear hold and trip all in one. No call, says the official. You would have assumed that McClure, with his skating ability, that would have been a very good opportunity for him.
Potentially interference as well. I am shocked by that, Simon. I have no allegiance to any of these teams. I just want to see some good hockey, but I am shocked that that one was not called. McClure, he had a free space to the puck, and he was taken down without it. And I'm kind of perplexed here, Simon. Wow, I guess the refs are really putting their whistles away.
Perigine, he trying to find somebody, unable to get it to him. Unfortunately, I couldn't even see the jersey number on the back there. As Cloutier, yet another person we have not mentioned so much this game, he streaks in, hits the side of the net, but reclaims his own rebound only for a moment as that puck is worked around the back of the net. Cloutier centering in front for Pagani. That bouncing puck finds the glove of JC. A strong opportunity for the Vaughan Kings, probably their best chance since their first goal. Unfortunately for them, unable to get through the glove of JC. And yet again, let's just touch on this for a second. I said the referee's hand is up because I assumed that was a penalty going to be assessed to the Canadians, and I was baffled when I found out that neither of the referees put their hand up on that McClure almost breakaway.
Yeah, I'm like I said, shocked by that one. Also, how fast has this game gone by? Only 2 minutes and 40 seconds remaining in the second period already. I guess that's what happens when you spend so much time in the neutral zone and on the near side boards, like you've mentioned.
Brown broke his stick, and he will go off. Menery will be taking his place. The parents probably aren't too happy about that one. And yet another icing call resulting in an offensive zone faceoff for the Kings upcoming. And to your point, Sammy, not many whistles in this game. I feel like most of the whistles that have been blown have been for an icing or maybe a cover of the puck, which we honestly haven't seen too much. Not really any offside calls, like you said before the Cabral penalty. Not really any penalties in this game, only the one. And yeah, this game has just flown by, and I think that's attributed to just how well these teams have played and how fast they've gone through this game.
And how hard they've been on every loose puck. Like we mentioned earlier, it was the Canadians winning all the puck battles. It's kind of gone back and forth since then, so it's really just a hard-fought game because they know that this GTHL U16 AAA league is simply a game of inches.
JC out to play it, but the Kings are able to find it. Scro unable to keep that bouncing puck in the zone as he goes to regroup in his own zone. Fitzgerald His pass gets taken off by the Canadians, and Grima, he's there down low to meet the puck. That was Jensen trying to throw his body around, misses Grima, luckily for him. And the Kings, they go the other way. No offside, says the official, as the Kings are first to that puck, trying to find the defenseman in front, and he is a bit slow in getting to his position off of the line change. That hits the stick of Zinke and almost results in a fast break opportunity. Kawaja is there to keep that puck in the zone, trying to find a pass. Tipped up to the stick of Wang. And deep down low yet again, Jensen is pressuring. Canadians holding possession into the slot. Over to O'Rourke. Toe drake shot. That goes way high and wide, I believe. That must have hit the stick of Chen. And that goes, and the whistle goes as well with it.
Yeah, and it was a nice shot there. Nice shot opportunity, I should say, as it did hit the stick and go out of play. I like that the junior Canadians are trying to throw everything they can onto the net of Cochrane. Cochrane allowing 2 goals in this game so far, but you can't really attribute blame to either of them. You know, it was a great point shot there from Kawaja, and then, of course, on the first one, it was Kawaja again, left all alone, easily could put that puck on the backhand in transition. So good job for him for locking it down.
Champagne loses that draw on the Kings. They look to break out. Going up the center of the ice. That's stripped by Kawaja. Nelson trying to make a move on him. Kawaja with the quick stick. I think that's what it's called in the CHL, like the X Factor attribute, the quick stick or the quick poke. Kawaja might have that one already. That's sent in as there's just about 40 seconds left to go in the second period. Both teams would love that 15-minute intermission. That is tipped. And the Kings trying to get one last opportunity here in the dying seconds of this second frame. They are able to maintain possession. That pass doesn't find Pagani. Shot out in front. Rebound opportunity for the Kings. That puck leaks out to this near side wall. Good keep in there from McKegg. Great effort play there from 91 Kov Long to get that puck out. As we are in the last final 5 seconds. One more shot opportunity perhaps. Brody Brown sending it to the front of the net. Rebound out in front. No goal, no real major opportunity there, as that will conclude the second period, as both of these teams will get a much-needed intermission.
Yeah, and Simon, this third period, the Vaughan Kings, they are just 2 goals away, 2 uninterrupted goals away from taking home the championship. I truly think that this next goal, maybe the next 2 goals, will be the determining factor of maybe this series. This next goal is so important. It's either a 2-goal lead or the game is tied in the third and perhaps final frame. So for both teams, they need to get out ablazing. They need to make sure they're winning those puck battles, not have turnovers in the offensive zone and in the neutral zone. As we've seen, that has been a huge factor in this one. The Vaughan Kings likely spending their time figuring out how to restrict the Canadians from winning those near side and far side board puck battles, because the Canadians, they have been doing a great job at keeping possession.
They certainly have, and honestly, that second period I thought was much more tightly contested than the first. In the first period, we obviously saw the Canadians winning the majority of the puck battles and certainly had a majority of the time on attack and just time of possession in general. That second period was much better for the Vaughan Kings, especially in terms of their forecheck and their hustle play. But kind of to your point, Sammy, both of these teams having some trouble getting those crisp passes off that we're so used to seeing from each of them. Obviously, the Kings employing that stretch pass a lot of the time, and same with the Canadians, you could say as well. Both teams defending incredibly well in the neutral zone. And maybe in this third period with some desperation setting in for both teams, as you said, this next goal, oh so crucial. So, maybe we'll see a little mix-up and some cleaner passes.
Perhaps, and maybe a change of lines as well. The Vaughan Kings are going to be pushing for offense, but the junior Canadians, they need to remember they're one mistake away from being on the brink of elimination. Of course, they are on the brink of elimination with this game, but having that lead is always nice going into the third frame. They just need to make sure, like you said, they're not making any major mistakes in their passing lanes. And the Vaughan Kings, they've been known to jump on those pucks especially across the ice. We've seen the junior Canadians employ a lot of D-to-D passes, and the Vaughan Kings, just like many teams in this league, are so good at jumping on those loose pucks.
Yeah, we've seen a few times here the likes of Fortin, McKegg, Nelson, even Liam Rotten, Scrove. This entire D-core is fully capable of jumping up in the rush with the forwards. They are often the first to break into the zone, maybe a change of strategy or maybe more of the same. And that's taken by O'Rourke, and he sends it down low, intercepted by the Kings early on. Some miscommunication there, but Fitzgerald is able to pick up the puck, sending it to the front of the net. Doesn't find the stick of anybody as Scro trying to keep it in. He's unable to do so. Is able to pick the puck back up, looking for options, and he elects to just send it down to the corner. Ross plays it over to O'Rourke. Back over to Ross. Ross, that's Katerin along this near side wall. Katerin, Vortman, and Grima are the first forward line on for the Canadians in this third period. Looks like the referee's hand was maybe up, almost an icing call perhaps, maybe held up for the offside, which is why the Canadians had to regroup in their own zone. Either way, puck squirts out to Brown, and he sends it very, very high. Will that get out of play? No, it will not, as Cantanella picks it up. Some quick shifts here for the Canadians early on. That's taken by Zoo, having some trouble claiming that bouncing puck. He's able to get it over to the wall, but that will be taken by the Kings and sent back down. Brown is there for checking. He's out there with Cloutier and Pagani as always. A nice shot of center ice yet again, and that's taken by McKegg. McKegg trying to send that puck along the far side wall. Kings looking to regroup in their own zone. Nelson over to McKegg. McKegg sending it down low. Brown does not find the puck there. Taken by the Canadians. High off the glass. Not enough for an icing, obviously, as that's taken on the stick of Nelson. And he sends it down low. Red line and in. Opportunity there. Bouncing puck. Doesn't find the stick of anybody. Good poke check and awareness from JC to clear that puck off the front of his net as he gets some love there from his skaters. However, it actually does seem like there is a penalty on this play being assessed towards the Canadians. Unfortunately, right now I can't see exactly whose number that is. That looks to be number 88, Callum Mason, going off the ice. That was a good opportunity from the Kings in front of the net. Unfortunately, I didn't see the call from the officials, but I can assume that it may have been an interference or a holding call that prevented the Kings to jump on that loose puck in front of JC. Either way, Vaughan Kings on the power play here. They win that opening draw. Nelson, he's out there. Over to Fortin. Fortin up to Nelson. Down to Cloutier. Cloutier's shot from the top of the circle hits the shin pad and goes wide. He's able to reclaim that rebound himself and sends it down low. Canadians almost able to get to that puck, and they are able to clear it the length of the ice. Cochran out of his net to play it, slowing it down for Nelson to pick up. Kings starting to break out in their own zone. They have some speed. Cross ice feed. Does not find the stick cleanly as the Canadians once again able to clear that puck, this time only to the neutral zone as McKegg. He reclaims possession for the Kings. That puck hits off the skate of Fitzgerald, does work its way down. Fortin unable to keep that puck in, but McKegg takes it at the red line, sending it across the way. Taken by the Kings, slowing it down, Fitzpatrick. His shot goes way wide, going to chase himself. Canadians yet again trying to clear. Good keep in by Fortin. He finds McKegg. Over to the side wall. And of course, that is Cloutier. Fortin, he wanted a one-timer, didn't have the space. McKegg down low from the circle. That hits the blocker of JC and goes wide. Kings able to maintain possession. Fortin fanned on the shot, that was Scro fanning on the shot. And the Canadians catch a lucky break. McKegg down to the zone. Some swarming JRC defenders. Looked like on that zone entry, there were all four skaters there on top of that puck. And I believe we actually have yet another penalty yet again. That will be a Kings skater going off the ice. Referee doing a great job of blocking, and it looks like that is number 2, Adrian Scro, the captain, forcing this to be 4-on-4 for what looks like the next 12 seconds. And then it will be a JRC power play. That is not a penalty you would love to take, especially on the power play in the offensive zone.
No, that is certainly not one you want there. A momentum killer for the Vaughan Kings and a chance for the Junior Canadians to get comfortable.
Quadja almost able to win that face-off. Some good forechecking there from McClure. Canadians take it down low. That's O'Rourke. Shot scores! Kate O'Rourke. What a snipe just below the crossbar blocker side. And look at where they're celebrating. They are celebrating right in front of the penalty box where Scro is sitting. And that makes it 3-1 for the Canadians.
And what a shot from Cade O'Rourke. We have to mention it every broadcast. The Round Rock, Texas native, the underager, pops into the zone and pops that shot up high. What a beautiful rip from him. And O'Rourke capitalizing when his chance is presented.
And Sammy, sorry to cut you off here, but it would seem as though the Kings are switching up the goaltenders, as that is Dimitri Stokes coming in relief for Liam Cochran, as the Junior Canadians take a 3-1 lead. What do you think of that?
I don't love it. I mean, I don't really think that it was Cochran's fault that he's allowed 3 point-blank shots. You could say that the Quadja shot he could have had. I wasn't really able to see the traffic in front of his net. The first goal, it was Quadja all alone, and then there, O'Rourke, one of the best shooters in this league, certainly a top 3 defenseman in this league, all alone to walk in with speed and fire it. But I think it's the Vaughan Kings coach trying to say, hey, you know, we need something to set a spark. We need to show that we're still in this game. And now it's a wonder if the Junior Canadians hold on, if they'll give it to Stokes or they'll go back with Cochran.
And just worth noting with that goal, even though it was 4-on-4, it will be 5-on-5. I believe actually the 4-on-4 had just ended when O'Rourke potted that one, as that shot is sent towards the net, and JC is there to cover that one. But we are back to 5-on-5 just to clear that up. And you know, I don't know if you saw, but right away when Kate O'Rourke scored, the Canadians, their group celebration was right in front of the door of the penalty box, really making the captain Adrian Scro soak that one in.
Yeah, I'm sure he loved that.
I was just going to say, yeah.
That is a tough scene, especially when they were on the power play. They had some momentum going their way, weren't really able to set up in the way they normally do, but it was such a golden chance, a great opportunity for them to tie the game. And like I said, that next goal so important. The Canadians doing a great job to capitalize.
Vaughan able to keep that cross-ice pass into the zone, only for a moment, though, as that's taken by Champagne. He has some blazing speed, and he uses it right there. Zinke's with him, pressuring on the puck. Kings taking it the other way now. Oh my goodness, what a move there from Cloutier, almost able to get the shot off, but unable to do so. Cabral unable to grab his rebound. And the Canadians electing just to regroup for a moment, calm things down, letting the forwards go for a change as they start a breakout here. Along the neutral zone, past the red line, past the blue line, streaking in were the Canadians, but that's picked up by Forn in that near and that far side corner, sending it around the back of their own net. Is yet again a great shot of center ice there. Really loving that North York Rangers logo is this camera. Behind the back of the net of now Dimitri Stokes. Kings looking for something, a turnover there. Grima trying to make a move. The puck was stripped off of his stick, and now Menery, he goes the other way. He's there with Fitzgerald, who plays the body. Canadians get the puck, though. Taking it up, that's Grima. Grima working his way through, dropping it behind him. Shot there. Good save from Stokes. His first stop of the game is a good one. The high glove side. We know Stokes, he has one of the best gloves in this GTHL league.
Certainly one of the flashiest as well. He's never afraid to show you what he's found in the old trapper. And sometimes that's what you need. You need your goalie to be a little bit flashy to get your momentum into it. The Kings, they need to be much more careful around their own net. They have had a plethora, I'll say it again, plethora of turnovers right in the slot. And the Canadians, although they haven't necessarily capitalized with a goal, they have drummed a lot of their offense off of those turnovers in front. They have to tighten it up if they want to beat an offensively gifted team like the Junior Canadians.
That's the Kings breaking through. Offside, says the official. Oh, what a chance there for the Kings. I believe that was number 17, McClure, streaking in. He was able to get past the defenseman. But unfortunately for him and the Vaughan Kings, looked like he was a bit too antsy there. And this will be called an offside. And obviously, this top line of Cloutier, Brown, and Pagani back out for them. Kings able to win that draw. McKegg, he takes it, finds Nelson. Nelson looking up the boards for Brown. Brown sending it down low. JC's there. Yet another offside call, says the official. My goodness. And it looks like, wow, they are going to call that an intentional offside as this faceoff is coming all the way down to the Kings' end.
Yeah, and I think what we see there is because it was a borderline intentional offside, the argument could be made, and it's the second in a row, the referee with no choice but to take it way down into the Vaughan Kings zone, and the Canadians with a chance to get something set up.
Harajin sends it down towards the corner. He takes a hit there. Good hit from Pagani. Kept in by Wang. That's Alston Wang rather than Lucas Wang on the ice for the Canadians. Good glove. Is that Odell Beckham Jr. out there? My goodness. Wang trying to find a centering pass. That doesn't find anything. Kings taking it the other way now. Through the blue line. Red line it in for the Kings. And that's Cloutier going to chase after it for them. Pagani, he's there as well, but the Canadians doing a good job keeping the puck on their sticks. Only for a moment, though, as that puck is sent all the way down. Jensen was unable to keep it in for the Kings. All the way down the length of the ice. That was off the pad of JC. Had to stay sharp there, and that avoids the icing call. Canadians taking it up. That's Muir. The transfer, mid-season transfer, sending it down low. Scrow there to meet the puck along that far side. Stretch pass there for Cabral. Finds his skate and is kicked into the zone. Champagne drops off for Muir. Muir hits the pad. Muir's shot hits the pad, and it looks like there will definitely be a penalty on that one. As you see, the Vaughan Kings player goes down, and Stokes, he's already out of his net. Referee blows the play dead, and it will be the Vaughan Kings going to the power play. It looked like a high stick off of, I believe that is number 93, Jackson Zinke. Caught a Vaughan Kings up in the cage as you saw him go down pretty quickly there. And this is a crucial power play opportunity for the Kings.
Yeah, I mean, I'm never one to be a finite guy. I'm never one to make a finalized statement, but good thing Vaughan here taking a timeout. They need a goal here. That's pretty obvious. But I would go ahead and say if they do not capitalize on this power play or do not at least drum up a certain level of offense to get one very soon, this game could be over.
It certainly could, as we saw the clock there, just about halfway to go in this third period. And you know, something we have to mention here, 3 plus 2 is 5.
Okay.
Plus a half is 5.5. 5.5 periods of hockey. And the Junior Canadians have limited the Vaughan Kings to 1 goal.
Yeah, that's not something that many teams, if any teams, could say in this league. Like we mentioned earlier, the Vaughan Kings have not lost 2 games in a row many times this season. None in the regular season, like we mentioned earlier. Only once in the playoffs against the Toronto Marlboros. But even in those games, they were still scoring goals. That's never been a problem for the Vaughan Kings. So the Canadians doing something that no team has done this season and effectively shutting their offense down. A great job so far, but the real test comes here on the Kings power play.
And I would even argue throughout these last 5.5 periods, the Vaughan Kings haven't really even managed a grade A scoring chance. That Presley Lane shot was an absolute howitzer that just beat JC, but JC doing a fantastic job shutting down the saves he needs to make, and the Canadians defense doing a fantastic job themselves, not allowing any grade A opportunities these past couple of games. You see Fitzgerald lining up to take the face-off for the Kings. He ties up the centerman of the Canadians. They are able to win that puck back. 4-0, able to get that pass from Cloutier cleanly. And it is sent down the length of the ice. Nelson is there to reclaim it for them. looking to start the breakout. He has some options. Skro and Cloutier are out there. They're two best players this series. He's able to find Fitzgerald streaking down low. Excuse me, that was Skro streaking down low. His slap shot finds a stick, and maybe it went up and out of play. But a good opportunity there for Adrian Skro on the rush. We talked about how effective he can be on this power play.
Especially with that speed. We saw he got the pass in transition and nearly got that shot off. That would have been a tough one to stop. Good defense from the Canadians and good positioning there from JC to stop it in its tracks.
Referees not loving that face-off lineup. No one's being waved up, but they will redo this one. That's won cleanly by the Kings. Cloutier, he maintains possession, sending it over to Nelson. Back to Cloutier. Cloutier over to Skro. Skro finds no one but Nelson, able to keep that one in. That was a dangerous pass from Skro. Skro shot from the top, hits the shin pad and goes wide. Cloutier there on that far side wall to get the rebound, cycling it down low. Skro from the top of the circle, that goes wide. Fortin able to keep that one in. Fortin down low. That's Fitzgerald trying to win the puck back, and he's able to win it up to Fortin. Over to Cloutier. Cloutier, top of the circle, holds, keeps on holding. Nelson with the shot, hits the shin pad of Champagne and goes wide. Canadians trying to get that puck out. Good hold from Cloutier, but it looks like there will be a slashing penalty assessed towards Fitzgerald and the Kings. My goodness, yet another power play opportunity wasted. And my goodness, excuse me, folks, that was not out Fitzgerald. That was yet again the captain, Adrian Skro, being assessed a slashing minor. The second power play in a row where Adrian Skro has made it a 4-on-4.
Well, we know what's going to be talked about after the game if the Vaughan Kings do not close this one out, if they do not come back, I should say. 2 times on the penalty. I wouldn't even say it matters who it is, but 2 times on the power play, they take a penalty, effectively ending their power play. And that's just something you can't do against the Junior Canadians. You need all the help you can get, all the man advantages you can get. And now the Canadians, they have a chance to get a little bit more creative, maybe take things a little bit slower as well.
And that's Vortman streaking down low, carrying the puck around the back of the net. His pass, Quadja, shot, scores! What a shot from Cash Quadja. The hat trick for him in game number 4 as he puts his team up 4-1.
My goodness. These shots from the Junior Canadians, the second, third, and fourth goals have all been rips. And you know what? The Kings goal was a rip as well. But Kawaja, I think everyone in the greater Toronto area knew that puck was coming to him. Everyone knew where that puck was going. But like Ovi in his office, that was an impossible shot to stop. And still 4-on-4. The penalty did not end, so just a nightmare scenario here for the Vaughan Kings. And my goodness, Kawaja is so talented. He finds different ways to score. And a similar goal to his second where he just teed it up and fired it. Nothing Stokes could do about that.
Just about 5.5 minutes left to go in this game. That's Brown trying to will his way through to the net of JC, but he is intercepted by the Canadians. What a sentence that is. The Canadians, they cycle it down in their own corner. It is now a power play for them as the 4-on-4 has ended. Canadians looking to set up their power play down low along the near side of Stokes. That puck does not find anything. Quadja yet again rips one from the slot, and that goes wide and off of a stick. Quadja, he reclaims it at the top of the zone, looking for yet another shot. Finds Grima. Grima over to Long. Shot to O'Rourke, and he scores off the 1-tee. No one around him, and Cade O'Rourke, he has his second of the game, and that is now 5-1 for the Canadians.
And barring a disaster, Simon, we will be going to a pivotal championship deciding game number 5. You love to see it. And what a shot from O'Rourke. What an effective power play from the Junior Canadians. And how about this offense? 3 goals from Kawaja, 2 goals from O'Rourke. The number 2 guys, 1 and 2, you could say, in this team. And top 10 in this league for sure. Grima picking up a handful of assists as well. Worth noting that the top guys of this Junior Canadians team have been on full display. You expect your superstars to come out in full form in these big of games. Weirdly worded from me there, but you expect them to come out blazing, and that's exactly what they've done. Testament to how strong the top end of this team is.
Muir going to chase that for the Canadians. That was Champagne sending it around the net. Canadians yet again pressuring here. Just over 4 minutes to go left in this game. And I think if you're the Canadians and the Kings, I feel like the rest of this game is just going to be attributed to not wanting to hurt anybody. And as soon as I say that, someone is taking down in the corner. Referee's arm is up. Who will this be assessed to?
We do see a Kings man down, but also a Canadian. It was a big collision. Faceoff's going to be outside. So I don't even know if they're going to give any penalties out here. They might just call that one a collision and move on. But I think you're exactly right, Simon. If you're the Junior Canadians right now, it's about just getting the puck out, making sure that no one gets hurt, making sure that you are ready for tomorrow.
That's exactly right, Sammy. As you see this neutral zone face-off lined up. 4-goal lead here for the Canadians in the late stages of this game. That's one back to the King zone. Nelson finding his D partner, likely McKagan. They're able to tip that one deep into the net, and behind the net of JC. He tries to play it out into the corner, but the Kings are there to pick it up. Setting along the far side, Canadians looking to clear. That's kept in by Nelson. Bouncing puck is stripped off of his stick by Vortman. Caterin, he holds at the hash marks. Finding Grima. Grima, shot from the top of the circle, goes wide. Nelson is entangling with him. McKegg picks it up for his team. Going the other way are the Kings, sending it down low. Hits the pads and glove of JC, elects to cover that one up. And it seems like both of these teams are quite content just to let this clock run out as we see a bit of a lack of intensity here in the late stages.
Yeah, and Simon, if I was the Junior Canadians coach right now, I am sitting Kawadra for the rest of the game. I'm sitting O'Rourke for the next rest of the game, and I'm sitting Grima for the rest of the game. Give some time to those depth guys that have helped you all season. Give them a chance to go against the best that the Vaughan Kings have to offer because, like I said, barring an absolute disaster, it will be the Canadians taking this one, and you want to make sure that your top-end talent is fresh, ready to go, and healthy for a championship deciding match.
Canadians able to win that defensive zone faceoff, and they turn the other way. That's Champagne out there. Finding Cantanella. Cantanella streaking down low, looking for the wraparound and the net. That's definitely the net being lodged off. Two things. One thing we see all too often, and one thing you don't see too often on the wraparound.
I think that we do see it often because we have mentioned that we don't see it often that much.
Maybe every game?
It's worth mentioning, folks, that I scored a wraparound goal in my beer league playoffs this year, and in my head I couldn't even enjoy it because I pictured Simon going, well, you don't see that too often. Yeah, you do, because I just showed it right there. But yeah, for the Junior Canadians, great job to keep pushing the offense. You want to make sure that JC is also not facing too much trouble in the late stages of this game. Keep him confident, keep him going, because for the guy who's picked up 2 wins, he's almost certainly going to be the Game 5 starter.
O'Rourke, he is back out on the ice along with Ross to close the last stages of this game. That's Ross taking it red line and in. That hit off the body of Jensen, took a weird hop to the net of Stokes. Just about 2.5 minutes left to go in this one. Ross reclaims the puck behind the net of his goaltender. And let's just take a moment here to credit the play of Zidane JC. Yet we talked about it a little bit before.
Whoa!
Oh, my goodness. Taking him out, and that's not going to be appreciated by the Canadians referees. Blowing play right away, and the hand is up. Most likely a call coming towards the Kings. That was a pretty blatant interference call.
Yeah, JC, he doesn't seem too fazed by it. Good on him, not getting involved in the scuffle, just waiting as we look at the Vaughan Kings bench. That's needed right now. A different body language from them, certainly, than the Junior Canadians. They know that this championship trophy has fallen from their fingers, and now it's anyone's to win. But wow, yeah, that was certainly a frustration penalty taken by Brody Brown. It'll be a power play for the Junior Canadians. And if I'm them, I'm cycling the puck. I'm just keeping it away from Vaughan. They don't need another goal. They just got to do the right play and just keep the puck safe.
Yeah, and it looks like that seems like Zinke, Wang, Katerin all out there running the second power play unit to start this one. Probably going to get the majority of time here as they are joined by Vortman and Perigin. And the Canadians having a commanding 4-goal lead in this one. And for the Kings, I feel like this is a good opportunity for them even to, try to gather some momentum heading into the next game, ending the game on a solid penalty kill here. As we await this face-off, and that is won by the Kings. Taken around the back of the net of Stokes, able to get cleared all the way. A set play off the face-off as almost a breakaway opportunity there for the Kings. That would have been an interesting play if it had worked out in their favor. But the Canadians, they have a 4-on-2 coming the other way. Taken by Perigin. Puck battle ensuing along that far side corner. Cycling it down low are the Canadians. Perigin calling for the puck, and he gets it. Canadian just calming this power play down as Vortman retrieves it. Vortman from the top of the circle looking for a shot, and that is swallowed up right into the logo by Stokes. Less than 2 minutes here to go in this one. Sammy, while we have a moment, do you just have any, I don't want to spoil any of our great post-game show that is going to accompany this broadcast, but do you have any just closing thoughts on this game?
I think this game was won and respectively lost with the special teams. I think that is going to be such a key in game number 5, responsible for 2 huge, you could say, power play goals for the Junior Canadians. Of course, they were on 4-on-4 when they got that second one, but still, getting the puck inside because of the penalty and able to capitalize were the Junior Canadians. It's going to be so important that that battle is won. I can confidently say that whoever wins that special teams battle in game number 5 will be the GTHL U16 AAA champion. I'm comfortable saying that because we've seen it through this playoffs. Whoever wins that special teams battle, we saw it in game 5 between the Marlboros and the Kings. That's exactly what happened. They won that special teams battle. Stokes was an absolute monster, and they ultimately went to the finals. It will come down to power play and how strong these teams' penalty kills can be.
Katerin, he's skating it through the top of the circle. Perigin gets it up top. Down low to Katerin. Almost kicks that one to Vortman at the top. And we now just have 1 minute left to go here in game number 4. This second power play unit getting a lot of time on the ice. Maybe a little bit of practice in case they're needed in that illustrious game number 5.
You know what? I actually like that one.
Hey, thanks, man.
I usually don't, but I like that one.
Hey, thanks, man. I appreciate that. And we are in the dying seconds here. And, Sammy, I'm not going to lie. When you started that breakdown, I didn't catch when you said special teams. And I thought you just said whoever wins Game 5 is going to win the GTHL championship. And I almost wanted to stop you dead in your tracks and say, yeah.
That's not a bad take, though. And you know what? I'll add to that. Whoever scores more goals in that game will win the GTHL championship. As we see, it was the Junior Canadians with a sloppy line change there, and they go off for the penalty. So maybe a chance for the Vaughan Kings to save some face here.
Some 4-on-4 action in this game. Maybe the most 4-on-4 action we've had these entire playoffs. And 4-on-4 that just creates for such fun hockey. Do you think the NHL should go back to 4-on-4 OT?
Rather than 3-on-3?
I think they should go 4-on-4 for 10 minutes.
I think they should go 3-on-3 for 10 minutes because it is somehow the best hockey and the worst hockey the NHL has to offer. It is so exciting. We've seen 3-on-3 a couple times in this league. We saw it in game number 2 right here at Carnegie Arena when Fortin walked in and scored that beautiful OT winner. So it's just a chance for the teams to show off creativity.
And you know what I'm going to argue? The Olympic gold medal game probably shouldn't be 3-on-3 overtime.
I 100% agree with you there, but I don't even want to touch on that.
That was a good shot from Watt. My goodness.
Whoa!
Howitzer from the point. Oh, my goodness. Some chippiness here to end this game.
The ref kind of lagged the body there in the scrum.
I was just going to say, less than 20 seconds left to go here. I believe that says 17.8. I do really like how, I forget which arena it is, but they have the dual decimal.
I do like that. I believe Iceland employs
Yes, it's Iceland, yeah.
it there, as they have to just let this go out, and it seems like that's what they're going to do. Props to the Vaughan Kings still pulling Stokes as if they had the shot there, but you never know. And Vaughan, a collapse with 2 games.
Certainly so, Sammy, and without any further ado, we will talk about this game in the booth.
All right, folks. Well, there you have it. Sammy predicted an offensive explosion, and it came for the Junior Canadians in this one. They take Game 4 by a score of 5-1, forcing a do-or-die game number 5. What a game it was for the Canadians and for the Kings. I'm sure it's one they would love to forget as soon as, I guess, tomorrow, before Game 5. That's for sure. And just a complete performance from this JRC squad.
That's right. It was an excellent performance. JRC had a handle of the game very early on, and they did not relent. The Vaughan Kings, however, they, like you said, they don't have a lot of time to mull on this one. They play tomorrow. It's Saturday game for game number 4, Sunday game for game number 5, midday game as well. So for the Vaughan Kings, they have to erase it out of their memory and find a way to stop a Toronto Junior Canadians offense that is heating up. How about this for a stat? In the last 2 games, the JRC team has held the Vaughan Kings, we will mention it on the broadcast tomorrow, and we did mention it in this one, to 1 goal. 1 goal over 2 games. That hasn't happened so far this season. Vaughan Kings, throughout the whole regular season, they only lost back-to-back games 0 times. I don't know why I said only. In the playoffs, it happened against the Marlboros. Happens again here. A game number 5, U16 at AAA, best youth hockey developmental league in the world. It doesn't get much better than that.
It certainly doesn't. And to that exact point, Sammy, the JRC, the Junior Canadians, they only lost the games 1 and 2 was the first time they had lost 2 games in a row. They had not lost 2 games, let alone 3 games in a row before those first 2 games of this series. And like we said, Sammy, a do-or-die Game 5 in the best youth hockey league in the entire world. Yeah, we said it. Quote that.
Quote that. Put on a t-shirt, quote it. I'll accept it.
Anyway, let's move on to our 3 stars of the game. And yet again, in a game like this, it's kind of hard to show some love to the Vaughan Kings, although they did, put a spirited effort into this. It seems we have another clean sweep on our hands.
We do. And let's talk about the 3rd star, guy who held it down for the Toronto Junior Canadians all season long and showed what a great facilitator he is, Braden Grima. There were times this season that Braden Grima was the best Junior Canadian on the ice. There were stretches where he was their go-to guy. And with a team with so much talent, that is impressive. He was impressive tonight, picked up 2 assists. Star number 2, Cade O'Rourke. I don't even know why we keep making new graphics. We could just slot him in as a template because he has been phenomenal. This is his 3rd game he has been on the starred list, and he has been exceptional. I mean, underager and a guy who's not even from Canada. Where's he from, Simon?
I believe that would be Round Rock, Texas.
Coming in when he's very young to play GTHL hockey because he knows it's his best chance to make the show and knows it's his best chance at securing exceptional status. That is still in the work. He is certainly making his case for it with 2 goals, an assist, a power play phenomenon, Cade O'Rourke. Now, Cash Kawaja, my 1st star of the game. In games when your back's against the wall, in games where you need the stars to come out, that's what we saw. This is their big 3. And Cash Kawaja is undoubtedly one of the best players in the GTHL, one of the best players going into the OHL priority selection draft. And he showed it, the game winner from the point, as well as 2 other goals. A Hattie in a what could be series-defining game. That is huge. And he showed why he is considered one of the most elite players in youth hockey.
That's exactly right, Sammy. Yet another very well-put point there. And I mean, Cash Kawaja, he is just such a phenomenal player. Every time he's out on the ice, he's doing something right. And you notice just how explosive he is, whether it be his shot, his skating ability, even his passing, all at the elite level for a U16er. Either way, a Game 5 is in the works. Like you said, Sammy, it's tomorrow afternoon. So a very quick turnaround for this Vaughan Kings squad who just suffered probably their worst loss of the season just from an emotional standpoint. They've had 2 opportunities to close the door and to win that championship. And now their backs up against the wall. Game 5. What do you think their mentality is?
I think, you forget about the last game. You treat it as if it's a single knockout because it is a single knockout. You try to shut the door and do what you do best. Put the puck in the back of the net. drive the offense, take control of the game early. If they can do that, they'll put themselves in an excellent spot.
Well, only time will tell who is victorious in game number 5, but for now, that is all from us. Thank you so much for watching, everybody, and once again, I've been Simon Hendricks. He's been Sammy Brzezowski. Yet again, thanks for watching, and until next time, have a great night, everybody.